and this is Joseph Darling from the Girls of High Value channel. I'm going to talk to you today about untapped potential. Untapped potential in men and also untapped potential in women. I believe sincerely from the bottom of my heart that men's untapped potential comes from their lack of masculinity. If they could tap into their masculinity, they would tap into their fullest potential, which basically means if women and men are opposite, that means that if women tapped into their femininity, they would tap into their fullest potential. Okay? This is where it's going to be interesting. Femininity in women means that they're unburdened, which basically means that life is easier for them. They don't have to worry about financial means. They don't have to worry about the future. They don't have to really think about the past. They're just simply being in the present. That's what it means to be unburdened. You don't have to worry about a thing. Just play, laugh, enjoy life. Just dance and sing and work on your talents and spend time with quality people that you love and embrace each other and just enjoy life. That is what it means to be unburdened, or in other words, feminine. Masculinity, however, is the fact that you are burdened. You take upon yourself the burdens of the world. You take upon yourself the burdens of your family, the burdens of kids, the burdens of any problem that you have in your life or that anyone else has in their lives. You take it upon yourself. And women do this naturally. Oh man, this is so amazing. This is amazing material. Okay, when we are born, both men and women start out as feminine. Okay? And what happens? If there's a lot of problems in that family, okay, this is what's going to happen. Women have built in a care gene. I haven't figured out what to call it yet, but women simply care. They have intense emotions, and if something happens to someone else or to themselves, and life rejects them or other people reject them, whatever it is, women are going to care a lot. Intense emotions. Men, however, is built in a different way. Since they do not care, they actually have to work on caring. They have to be taught to care. They have to be raised to care, because it doesn't come naturally to them. If you haven't noticed already, men very often can manage to just not care. They're just indifferent. They just look at something, and if it doesn't really concern them that much, they're just not going to care. If you've asked them repeatedly to put the toilet seat down, unless you repeat yourself so many times, or there is some form of benefit to them doing that, they're just not going to care. Do you understand? Men are designed in that way, which kind of sucks, to be honest. However, everything has been designed in a perfect way. The whole universe is designed perfectly. We just haven't figured out the keys yet. Maybe we have, though, some of them. And eventually we're going to tap into everyone's full potential. Well, we got to start somewhere, okay? So this is where we are right now. As we grow up with a lot of problems and dysfunctionalities in the families, let's look at what happens. If we both start out as feminine, both men and women, if men are indifferent, it basically means that if they're burdened, what's going to happen with their femininity and masculinity? If men care, they're going to work on themselves and work on improving themselves, correct? If they're indifferent, if they don't care, meaning if they have a lot of problems, a lot of burdens on top of them too fast and too soon, what's going to end up happening is that they're going to choose to not care about anything. Which basically means they're going to remain in their femininity. There is no reason for them to tap into discipline, to tap into focus, to tap into work, to tap into anything that would create long-term amazing benefits and results for them in their lives, but because they have a low self-image. Lots of problems happening very early in their life. Obviously, they're not worth much. And they believe it. And they end up living miserable lives, being indifferent, not caring about others, and not caring about anything. And they remain in their femininity. There is no reason for them to overcome their femininity. On the other hand, women, they are feminine, but because they care, they're going to tap into their opposite nature. They're going to tap into their masculinity of discipline, focused, being obsessed, working hard, caring about grades, caring about working, caring about doing those things that men were supposed to do, but they're just not really motivated to do it because they have a low self-image. Women, however, care about their low self-image and they want to change it. And the way that they change it is by working on it, improving, massively working, and putting in the work, putting in the discipline, the focus, and tapping into their masculinity. What ends up happening though is that they're actually burdening themselves even more. Okay, so they were burdened in the beginning. Remember, they had tons of problems, tons of dysfunctionalities in their family, but instead of working on unburdening those things from their lives, taking them away, they take upon themselves more burdens and more responsibilities. What do you think is going to happen? Eventually, they won't have capacity to care about anything else but themselves. It's not that they're bad or that they're. It's simply nature. Like, there comes a point where you just don't have capacity to care about anything else anymore. Those are the times when you start letting go and allowing things to be neglected. Like your body, for example. This is the time, if you're burdened, it will be far easier for you to tap into addiction. Tap into alcohol, drugs, sugar rushes, gambling. Anything that would, in the short term, alleviate the burdens that you have in your life. Anything that would cause you to become as a child again for just a split second, because you miss that feeling. You miss femininity. You want femininity. And this is the only time when you actually feel it. But what is happening in terms of your potential? Because you're not tapping into your potential when you do this. You're not tapping into your potential when you're becoming masculine. Tapping into your potential means that you are actually becoming feminine, unburdening yourself. This is why, if men took upon themselves the blame, if they took upon themselves responsibility, they would automatically grow and become and be able to support and provide and protect the woman's femininity. He would be tapping into his potential of masculinity, of focus, discipline, taking upon himself burdens, problems, and solving bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger problems. The cool part about the fact that he does that, it gives him more motivation and more confidence over time because he's getting rewarded handsomely, massively for it. If you haven't noticed, men are motivated by feminine women. It is feminine women that motivate men to massive scales. They can do so much more than we could ever imagine. And the reason why they're not tapping into their full potential is because they have low self-esteem, low self-image, and they don't believe that women will eventually accept them and love them and worship them and trust them. There is no reason for them to care because they don't believe that they're actually going to achieve it. And also, there are becoming fewer and fewer feminine women on planet Earth because women are massively burdened. This has been going on for thousands of years. But we're entering into a time when women actually are able, if they chose to, they're able to tap into their femininity, of unburdening themselves by putting the burden on men instead of putting the burden on themselves. What is required for you to tap into your full potential? What's required is for you to completely unburden yourself. The way you do that is by doing the thing that feminists do so well, and that I want them and desire them to continue doing with all of my heart, and that is to keep blaming. The only way that men are going to take upon themselves full responsibility is if you continue to blame. If you stop blaming, if you believe that you have to take upon yourself responsibility, that you have to take upon yourself burdens, you will become more masculine. The more masculine you become, the more health problems you're going to get, the more addictions you're going to get, the faster you'll die. The more feminine and unburdened you become, the longer you'll live, the happier relationships you're going to have, and the more you're going to tap into the amazing world of femininity. We have never in the history of the world really figured out what women are really able to do. They have amazing skills, amazing talents, amazing untapped potential that's not touched. All of their powers are latent because we haven't figured out how to unburden women before now. This is the time when women can finally untap their potential of femininity. And yet, in today's world, when they can tap into their femininity, women don't know. And so they just tap into their masculinity anyhow. But if men would take upon themselves the blame, take upon themselves the responsibility, and change and grow and discipline and focus and do the things that are necessary for them to provide, protect, and create an amazing environment for a woman to grow and to become and to tap into that full feminine potential that she has latent. Amazing things are going to happen if we can create that system, if we can encourage men to understand and believe that if they do that, they will be rewarded handsomely from feminine women, or from a feminine woman, whatever you want to say. This is the key. This is the key. Femininity in women. That's what masculine men want. They want that reward. You can give that to them. This is flippin' amazing. I have to do this video one more time. And if I don't, this is the Girls of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you again tomorrow.